And the cheese.
Hope you guys doing well on this great Thursday afternoon. I know everybody's excited about the election, and we didn't end up going live on election day for gaming, but we're here now, baby. We want to hear what you want to or have to say about last time's game, which was the Bucks versus the Giants, nail biter, and then we got old Cheese's pack attack coming in hot.
Yes.
But before we get to tonight's matchup, let's go ahead and talk about and recap what happened Monday night. Tom Brady, he almost got upset by Daniel Jones. Giants playing good defense. They had a chance to win it, went for two. He, in my opinion, didn't throw it fast enough. I thought he was open right at the beginning. Daniel Jones should have got the ball out, just let the playmaker do the playmaker thing, and he didn't. So they ended up not being able to tie it and then losing right as the seconds were winding off the clock. So that was a pretty exciting one. What do you think about that one, Chief?
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with what you said too. And that's the thing that you'll see in a young quarterback, man, just holding on to the ball, just and in the game, especially in the NFL, man, you can only imagine, and we see it. It's a game of like half a second. You hold that ball half a second too long, it could deteriorate the whole play, man.
Yeah.
It was an absolutely fun one to watch. Bucks did wind up getting that dub. I know you don't like it because of your division, but I didn't want the Giants to beat them. And I don't know, man. See how they keep the train rolling. If they can stay healthy, and I think right now what it's coming down to, man, as I keep watching week by week by week, is who's not getting hit by the injury and the COVID bug. It's like this year for sure, who's ever healthy in the long run, makes a difference on this thing. But Giants aren't. I think Giants could win that division. I do.
Say NFC East for crying out loud. Of course they can.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have hopes and dreams for the Eagles and stuff like that. I know it's not going to be Dallas. We know it's not going to be Washington. So I can see New York getting away with that. And hey, congratulations, especially after losing Barkley. They'll take that as a win this year, no matter what division they're in. But not too much really to say about it, man. It was a good game. I think I don't know. They could have won it at the very end, but talent-wise, the gap should have been a little bit bigger than what it was. But New York's trying to say, "Hey, we're not that shitty team that we used to be."
No. At the end of the day, you see that the Giants are making strides to be a better football team for sure. I was pretty high on their defense at the beginning of the year, and they haven't been too bad defensively, but that offense just couldn't block a soul. They're finally finding a rhythm, so. Like you said, they could possibly win that NFC East. They're only 2 games behind, for crying out loud. This is a long season, so they could turn things around. Daniel Jones, he looks like he's doing pretty good here lately. Threw 2 touchdowns past a couple games. He's still turning the ball over, so we'd like to see that get fixed. But they're contenders, man.
I think he's a young Eli Manning. I don't say he goes and wins Super Bowls and shit like that, but I mean the way he plays and stuff like that. Like I think New York has. I think they're happy enough to say that they've found their quarterback and at least give him some more opportunity as some seasons go on. Yeah.
And then the Bucks. I mean, I don't know. They need to score more points for me to be comfortable in them being a Super Bowl contender. I
agree.
They have too many close games, and Tom Brady does Tom Brady things, but at the end of the day, you get those games close every single time. I don't trust the Bucks.
And one thing that we could see, bro, is too much on one team. We can see too much on one team because then that's going to mess up your whole thing. On paper it looks good. You can scheme it right and stuff like that. And then now they've activated, Antonio Brown. So now you sit there and say, could he come in there and be an all-star and help them put points up? No doubt. Could he also go in there and deteriorate that team and some things that they got good going? I also think no doubt. So it's 50-50 for me.
That's my vote.
Yeah, and it could happen either way. And I really want to see how they play it and how they use him or utilize him. He came out and saying Tom Brady's making me a better person, besides just a better player and stuff like that. Well, it's going to have to be. I don't think. I lean toward the other way a little bit besides you. I don't think Tom Brady he at least does that. I don't think he lets stupid crap like that come in and deteriorate what they've been working for. Can he play like he used to play and he's older and stuff like that? No doubt. But I still think he's just as strong when it comes to the morals and taking over a locker room and stuff like that. I mean, look at the difference from the Patriots and the freaking Buccaneers from last year, both sides on both teams. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but I agree with you. And on the flip side of that, with needing to score more points, you're going against really high-powered offenses and stuff like that in the playoffs and stuff. I mean, I know the Giants are doing what they need to do, but they still hung like 23 on them.
Yeah.
Like you got to be that way. I mean, I know the Jets are absolutely awful, and I think the Giants are definitely a handful of slots above them, but still, like, if you want to be that top tier, you got to go in and handle that like Kansas City handled the Jets. I know both teams might be one better than the other and one worse than the other, but at the same time, it's got to come in there and it's got to feel like that to a little bit. That's what is expected. Yeah. Like now we're getting into week 8 and things like that. Like, okay, you've had time to get the system. You've had time to understand your timing and things like that. So like, and then now you're adding a new receiver, which is going to even be harder to find his timing. So I don't know, man. I don't know if they add too much.
I personally do not like Antonio Brown. I think he's a cancer in the locker room. Who knows? He could have changed his life. That's cool.
He has been.
But, I don't, whatever. Tom Brady, you do whatever you want to do, and you think, I hate Tom Brady anyways. The Bucs play the Saints this coming weekend, so that'll be a good divisional matchup. Brady versus Breeze. We had that little competition going with the touchdowns, so that's going to be very interesting.
Brady's up by 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that one's going to be a fun one. Next game, we are going to get into our key matchup for the night. We got the Packers playing the 49ers. Craig, we appreciate you being here and talk as much junk to the cheese.
Packers time, baby. Woo!
All right.
Great day to be alive.
It's the COVID Bowl. We have a lot of players out tonight. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jimmy G, George Kittle, all the running backs. Jermichael Hasty's getting his first running back start, I think, for the 49ers. So I did start him in my lineup because you got gashed by the damn Vikings by Dalvin Cook. And I think the same thing happens with that O-line for San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers, you go ahead. Talk about them cheese, what they bring to the table.
Well, Williams
who are they missing?
Right now, so that, San Fran's also missing a tackle out, but vice versa, man. We got some guys out with it too. We got hit with about 3 or 4. I know 2 of our rotational running backs is out, Williams and Dillon, and we just bumped somebody up from the practice squad, and I read it probably at lunchtime today at school, and by that point I still can't remember his name. Like, he's just, I don't know who he is, but hopefully he comes in and goes crazy. I still believe in what Aaron Rodgers can do, and we're on a downward little slope right now, and yes, we did get gas and stuff like that. Now, we've seen it. Now, to be honest, Green Bay has always been a contending team since since maybe 1 or 2 years since I've been pulling for them since the age of like 5 or 6. Like, we're always in the mix, or we're getting into the playoffs or something like that. Now, I don't sit here and see them, especially as they played last week and how they're playing, especially to a 1-5 team. I know divisional, you can throw the record out the window, and you can. And Dalvin Cook actually ate up like he was Henry or something like that, but we've seen Cook do that before. I can't sit here and say, oh, yeah, Super Bowl, this is what we're doing, because they do not look like a Super Bowl caliber team to me by any means.
Here, hold on. This is what Craig's saying. Craig's talking junk. He's saying this is the best chance that you have to beat the 49ers, so you better take advantage of it.
Yeah, we'll take that. That's life, baby. We'll take it how we get it. But that being said, though, I still think they're going to be damn sure a playoff team, and especially not a first round getting beat playoff team, but they got to start closing the gaps. I'm tired of seeing it. It's the same thing, even though we might win more games, but it's the same thing as watching the Cowboys play and stuff like that. It's like over and over and over, we're hitting these same seasons, second round NFC divisional game, second round, third round NFC divisional game. Like, we can't get past anything like that. So for them to actually be elite and do what they need to do, they got a lot of gap to close right now. And we'll see what they can do with it tonight. With people being down with the 49ers and stuff like that, yeah, that's cool. It's still NFL. I've seen crazier shit happen. I hope the Packers get it done.
Let me ask you this. Do they beat out Chicago for the top of the division?
Yeah.
It's a close one. It's close.
Yeah, they do.
Have you looked at the remaining schedules?
Right now, we've been beating the hell out of Chicago for years, and I know it changes year by year, so that's not even like a statistic or anything like that you can weigh on. But I don't, and especially Foles. Foles does start getting hotter and stuff like that, but he hasn't really impressed me much at all. The defense is extremely good, but hell, Chicago's defense has always been scrappy and good, and they've had them damn D linemen for seasons and seasons, and we've continuously done it. I think Aaron Rodgers has to find a way. You know, how elite is he? We've seen it year by year, and he's came out and said in press conferences like, look, you know, trust us or don't panic or whatever it was, whatever the slogan was. That dude's a freak, and we've been, you know, and they have always had games like they had the past 2 games where you're just like, yo, or like, I thought they were good. These dudes look like straight ass cheeks, but you know, so they have to really. I don't know. It's weird because one week it looks like everything, you know, and then the next week it's just like, you know. And last week we had two rookie starting middle linebackers, you know. So when you want to talk about getting gashed, I mean the guards were like smothering them. They could not play, and they were over pursuing. Watch the tape. Slow it down. Buy whatever you have to play, babe. You know, buy the package. But slow it down. That cutback lane is what Dalvin Cook was absolutely destroying the whole freaking game. And then he was gone. Then it's one-on-one to a safety, and he's running to the sideline and trying to beat that angle. So we got a lot to work on and things like that. But you know, we're still getting hit by injury bugs. And like I said earlier, and so is San Fran. I think the teams now that are going to be good is going to be the ones that can stay consistently healthy or healthy in the time of need. Because honestly, we're talking about 2 teams that they're fully healthy. They're both dangerous.
Yeah,
you know, sure. So that's why tonight's so weird because we're coming off of a week that we absolutely sucked against something that the 49ers kind of do to establish their game, but they're missing their key pieces of what they use to establish that type of game. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one.
I'm going to read this off for you. The Packers in the all-time series with the 49ers, so from whenever the NFL started, are 36 and 32-1. So it's pretty close in the head-to-head. Okay, the 49ers have won the last 2 matchups. They've won the last 2 matchups. They doing something, you know.
That was an NFC game last year, dude, and they stomped us.
Yeah.
That was the NFC title game. People who always talk shit about Green Bay, yes, we were there. Do your research. So we made it to the NFC title game. So if you wouldn't know the 49ers, shut up. But I mean, they spunk us. They straight up spanked us that game.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Y'all do lead the all-time series, but previously, you know, even with all the injuries, they seem to tend to do a lot better versus the Packers. I don't know if that's a West Coast thing coming to play over here in San Francisco, because you know when Aaron's at home, that's a whole different story. Were y'all at home in the playoffs last year? Were the 49ers? I'm pretty sure the 49ers were.
We was at 49ers.
Yeah. So I don't know. Interesting one for sure. So who you going with? Just tell me who you gonna pick.
Damn, I don't know. Green Bay.
I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go with 49ers because it is at San Francisco. I think their defense is still pretty decent, even with losing all those big-time names. Their offense is headed by a second-string quarterback and a rookie running back and some wide receivers I don't even know of. I'm going with them, dude. I think
here's what I'm afraid of.
They ain't got nothing to lose.
Because the running back situation that's messed up for us as well. Jones is predicted to play. He still is. I don't think he's 100%.
Yeah.
Now, if we don't get a running game started, now, yes, I've seen Aaron Rodgers absolutely destroy secondaries. But if we can get a run game started and that doesn't open up the passing game for him and he gets frustrated, especially for the 3rd week in the row. Well, now, offense looked good. Offense looked good last week.
No, Devontae Adams looked good last week. Everybody else.
I mean, somebody's still throwing the ball to him, and our starting running back was out. Anyway, so that makes a difference. But still, if Aaron Jones can't take the load that he usually takes. He can't. He's fighting through an injury right now. So if we can't establish a run and he gets aggravated and the passing lanes are shut down, and he gets aggravated for the 3rd time in a row, because we've seen it, he when he gets in his head, he can literally half his potential. So if that happens, I could definitely see us being in trouble.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you have it right there, guys. The cheese is picking the cheese. The cheetah is picking the 49ers tonight. I think it's going to be a real good football game. COVID, IR, people step next man up. It's the next man up. Yeah. Got to give us something to watch.
Program,
Exactly.
Or franchise, whatever.
We don't have the pack of questions this evening for you guys. I didn't end up sending them out this week. I was a little bit busy, but next week we for sure got you. Appreciate you tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And we hope to see you on Saturday when we have another special guest.
And we do have one of my homeboys that's here in Charlotte. I've known him since high school, man. So tune in. It'll be a good one.
Nice. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cheetah and the Cheese.